on the website. I guess, we got about 30, 35 minutes here. So what's your goal for success? What would make this a meaningful coaching session for you? I've already read
Um.
everything else.
Okay. Yeah. So uh, what you probably might have surmised from that wall of text is that uh, I tend to struggle a little bit with consistency sometimes, especially in Dota. Um, it's just like kind of team dynamic, the sort of randomness of what you get that you don't really know what to expect. So I've been like taking a step back after a kind of disastrous Christmas to just work on my own things. And then, as you can see from the game, things was going really, really well for me, and that was successful. And the thing that was really interesting to me about this game that I really couldn't quite put my finger on was that even though everything felt good, like the end result looked kind of shit for the rest of the team. And like this was a nice pick of team. Like I got lucky with this team. They were really nice, supportive, attentive. So it's just this kind of conundrum of everything felt like it went right, but somehow it was slightly shit, and I can't figure out why. And I think this kind of spills out into my broader perception of consistency.
Okay.
Is that I can't quite understand why things turn out the way they did. I've watched the replay a little bit myself. Yeah, it feels like the team should be really fed to, and I don't know if I had a part to play in why they were not.
Yeah, you said a little while ago you were like 4K, right?
I wouldn't say a little while ago, but yeah, it's maybe 2 years now or something.
Okay. How would you define that? You said not a little while ago.
Um, I would put like a little while ago on like the higher end of like 6 months maybe.
Hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, that was just a
Like
curiosity
before
question.
the yeah, around that time, like the Dota map looked very, very different. I don't think we had the gates, maybe, or even like the jungle camps along the bot and top river.
Hmm.
So that was like kind of huge adjustment for me getting back into the game. I think I'm fairly comfortable with the map now, but you the Dota map up until then was like pretty much fairly consistent from like 2010 up until that point. So
Yeah.
a lot of my like prior experience went out the window with that change.
What's your opinion on this lane? Like after you played it and bring it to me today?
I felt it was just going really, really well. Like the kills were a nice bonus and stuff, but I was getting my farm. I have felt comfortable pretty much all the way throughout this lane. Um, I was watching out for a Clink's rotation, thinking that would and Viper. Um, Thinking like that would be pretty much like the only thing that would ruin it. Here I got a little overzealous. Like I knew I was strong. I was kind of tempted to go at them, but I knew I like probably shouldn't. But I was like, I don't know. It's like I almost got like purposely hooked there, so I had like an excuse to go in. Couldn't quite
Hmm.
decide whether I wanted to go. Like I knew I shouldn't go for it, but I was very tempted to run at them.
I see. Yeah, I mean overall this looks generally better than 2K laning. I would say that you do
I fucked up
seem
that pull there or stacking.
yeah, you don't seem very risk averse. What I'm seeing. Like I could see how if you did the 900 CS challenge, you'd be like very good at that. Let me just keep playing it out. So you have Battle Fury. You're against Axe, not like the best matchup on the map, even
Yeah,
if you're winning. So
during
you're just gonna farm. Go ahead.
during the drafting, I was like expecting to struggle more, so like the lane went a lot better than I had like accounted for.
Hmm.
But I still figured at this point what I should probably do. Like I looked to make some contributions on map, mostly like pushing out lanes, but also like turn up with the TP, Omni Slash, things like that. Figured that was like the best I would do, at least until I had Manta. I figured this Clinks is going to get an Orchid timing. Yeah, it's probably going to be one of his first items.
Hey, give me a second. I'm watching for a specific thing here. If I were to ask you what the number one limiting factor to farming in general, like not specific to this game as a carry, what is it?
I'd say point of contact, referring to past videos, or
Hmm. It's a little bit more fundamental than that. Like that's on the right track. It's enemy heroes.
yeah.
So when I'm thinking about this game, is what's the enemy's timing to potentially kill you? You think like what is their heroes and or hero or whatever that like threatens you?
To like reliably kill me, like assuming I have like a little bit of information, probably Axe or Pudge Blink,
Okay.
to cancel spin TP.
Yeah, so what I did there was I fast forwarded from minute 9 until minute 17, and not once have you shown me Axe's inventory. So I have no idea what this guy's going. Like, if he has like Vanguard and a Blade Mail, that's going to change drastically where you play. Compared to like if I looked at his inventory and I see this, I know he's getting a blink really soon, right?
Yeah.
Um, so for me, when you're talking about struggling with consistency, I think a really important question you can ask yourself around 12 minutes in, it could be earlier if you want. Question is what hero on their what hero or heroes on their team threaten me, and what is their timing? Because I saw you looking around the map a little bit, which is pretty good. Like you were checking mid and looking for like you contributed with an Omni Slash, or maybe it was just a attacking. But for
Yeah,
me, good.
the mid TP, I
Yeah,
had plans for omning the Viper, but the Void wasn't going
yeah.
at the
So for
time, so
me,
I sold.
when I'm thinking about consistency, a lot of times in my experience when I'm coaching people, it's due to a lack of information they're giving themselves in some way, whether it's asking themselves the right question or checking something that the opponent's doing. So for me, I would assume over a large portion of games, like for me in this game, it's really transparent. The guy that threatens you is Axe. Like Pudge threatens you too, but like Axe Jug is a bad matchup. So like even though you won your lane, I would be checking Axe's inventory once a minute, once every 2 minutes. What is this guy going? I want to be very aware of this guy because he's going to be the catalyst to me dying. And I'm thinking if I were to like extrapolate that across a bunch of games, you're just going to randomly die to shit that you're like not ready for. And you're not consciously thinking about the guy that kills you. So I think it's good that you're looking to proactively make plays. You're checking on the map what's happening. But, I kind of said it earlier just watching the lane. It didn't really look like you had like a risk aversion at all. Um, so it kind of lines up for me that you don't check the things that threaten you in the game. Do you have thoughts on that?
Uh, yeah. For laning, I wasn't too worried, or I mean, you can see like when I like defensively aggro and stuff, then I'm like in okay, I'm not feeling strong right now, but I think I was fairly attentive of CMs and witch doctors positioning. Yeah, this one was a bit of a, I'd say, blunder. I got lucky there, but
The thing is, I you know, I didn't really stop on your laning stage all that much because all I really noticed is trends. I'm not noticed like I didn't notice any glaring mistakes, but I watched the
mhm.
laning phase and I kind of got the trend of like, okay, he doesn't seem very risk averse. Like you're
Yeah,
leaning on this, you're leaning on the side of being more aggro. You are defensive aggroing, and I saw that. There's a lot of good things you were doing, but I was making sure that I wanted to level with, okay, I'm going into the mid game thinking, okay, this guy's not really risk averse. I now need to look at what he's doing in the game. So then I was wondering, I'm like, what does Axe have? That's what I was thinking this entire time watching. And
yeah,
then I'm like, oh, did he check his inventory at all? And so I want to end my
yeah.
statement here and just say that you said you got lucky there by surviving that. I think that is the reason I can see so far that you would be inconsistent is you're not identifying your threat, you're not checking their items, and you're not thinking about them consciously. And am I wrong about that, or am is there someone I'm
Um,
missing?
Not 100%.
Okay.
You're definitely onto something. I was I was constantly thinking about Axe, like pretty much from the draft. Like I kind of knew like uh, what the early mid game was
Mm,
going to look like.
okay.
Pretty much like regardless of how drafts went. But yeah, that fight there, that was like kind of slip in concentration. I stopped watching the minimap, uh, something like that.
Mm.
Also, yeah, I like I was expecting the axe link timing, but definitely should have been checking his items. I was fortunate this game to have been blessed like with a very communicative team, so I was getting some information communicated through them. I don't remember what exactly was communicated at what point, so yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses here. I definitely should have been checking items on Axe. Like it should really have just been a habit.
I can assure you that I know you think a lot about the game. I can assure you of that. Just by listening to you talk and having read your message, like I can tell you think very hard about the game, and that's necessary. I've found that some people, in my experience, you know, I'm not, I can't like group everybody together, but what I'm trying to do today is, in my experience, you're an overthinker like me. Like it seems like
Oh
you
yeah,
like to think
definitely.
a lot. So what I'm trying to do is tell you that I already know that there's a bajillion things going on in your head, but and there's a lot of things happening in a Dota game. So Dota players I've seen have one of two problems often. It's they either zone out and they have no reason for what they're doing, or the guy could talk to me for an hour about what he was thinking about in this game. Okay?
Yeah,
So you're on that side, obviously.
yeah. I
So
tend to get periods of overload where like, yeah, that's fight bottom where I got lucky, so to say. Um, I don't know, maybe like my brain just shut down for like
yeah,
rebooted for like 30 seconds
I
or
got you.
something.
So what I'm trying to do is tell you that there's a lot of things you need to think about between minute 11 and 15. But I like what I try to do is help people train their autopilot because I think overthinkers need to rely on our autopilot a bit more. What we're not really doing is consciously making things autopilot. That's my experience. So the people who autopilot too much, they don't have a habit of adding something onto it. The people who don't autopilot enough are trying to think of everything at once, and then that's causing their baseline brain function to go hit some creeps to be really high because you're thinking about so much going on in the game. So, like, I would, in an ideal world, you'd be walking from camp to camp, looking at the map, and your only thought would be, I need to keep checking Axe's inventory, and I need to think about where he is and where I think he's going to make his move. And if that's the one thing on my mind while the rest of it is autopiloting, you will have more consistent performances. Like I'm giving, like when not just Axe, but I'm saying like whoever threatens you and what's the formula for that, and creating like a very detailed layout of that, like that's what I would want 90% of your brain power going to within the game. Now, something that you'll have to kind of answer on your own is what is it perhaps mechanically that's getting in the way of you thinking about that? It could just be that you came back to Dota and that's fine. You know, like you took a break and came back. But what I'm trying to say is there either is something getting in the way or you're not doing the simple thing that is capitalizing on all of the thinking that you're doing. Like you're telling me you're thinking
Yeah.
about Axe a lot and it's like, great. Now click his inventory and tell me what he's got, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
so that's go ahead.
I think then, as I mentioned in the text, there is like an element of pride or what's conceitedness. Like I felt like things have been going too well, so I'm like, at this point, there is definitely an element of me that is like, um, too cocky.
I see. I have
Like
food.
I feel like I bullied Axe. Like I knew he was going to be less than 3k net worth by the 10-minute mark, so like I knew his blink timing was going to be late, like just kind of subconsciously by estimate. But yes, I do have a very much more straightforward approach to actually just check,
I
keep an eye
I
out
got
for
you.
it.
I got you. So it's good to like admit that kind of stuff and have that self awareness. I just want to let this is something I've said a lot. I don't really know how to turn it into a video because I would like to kind of make like a public service announcement about this eventually. But I think the most detrimental thing any of us can ever do is think how well or bad we're playing at any given moment in the game.
Oh yeah, I've been quite conscious of that actually. I don't know if I'm like derailing this a bit too much,
You
so
go
feel
ahead.
free to stop me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've played golf throughout kind of majority of my life, really, and you know that's like very much a game of like mental stability or
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know keeping focus. Um, as a child, like I was kind of forced into it by my parents because they didn't like want to have a babysitter babysit me while
Of
they go
course.
play golf, so they just dragged me to the golf course.
That
I
makes sense.
wasn't
Yeah.
like really into it, but I was yeah kind of coerced into it or guided into it. So I wasn't like into it at that point. But after I came back from university, I went into like I kind of got the craving to start playing again. And basically, like all the way throughout my life, I was stuck at it like a handicap of like 30 or something. And in those 4 months, like the summer after I returned from university, just like at the tail end of the season, I started playing again. I went from 30 handicap down to 15 handicap, and that was much more that I was just playing and having fun. Just focus on just like making each swing a little bit better than the one that was yesterday, or like
Mm,
figuring it out.
that makes
Um,
sense.
so like at that point, like I was always quite decent at it technically, but I didn't have that consistency. Like I could make pars or birdies easily, but you know, you get disastrous double bogeys or triple bogeys, or yeah, worse than that even, tilting by like getting into this mindset of oh, I played really shitty the past 3 holes. Now I need to like make the I need to get this on this hole and this hole like to like make up for that. Like
Yeah.
that can that can just like be a current that pulls you in and ruins your whole experience.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, the connection I'm drawing, and I'm just making sure that the message I'm sending is landing, is that you telling me that I'm having such a great game and I'm owning against Axe, so I'm not worried, or like it's like he's gonna be 3K net worth. Like for me, that is evaluating the game state. When for me, I just want to think about the heroes in the game. Like,
Yeah, to like sort of channel this into the I guess concrete mistake is that I'm making is that I think I'm accurately predicting that I've set his blink timer back a fair bit. Um, like at the start of the draft, I would like maybe expect him to have a blink around 10, 12 minutes thereabouts. But I'm not actively watching it for it. Like I'm kind of relaxing a little bit too much. I'm acknowledging that I have a bigger timing window than I expected, where you won't have a blink. But I'm not making like a concrete judgment
I
or
gotcha.
assessment of when I expect him to have a blink.
No, I mean, I
Like
think
I'm
what's
not.
really interesting about this is you're telling, like, I just want to draw this attention to you because I do want to
Mhm.
make sure we go forward in the game to give you more stuff to work with. And I think this is a good conversation, but I just want to make sure we touch on more. You have told me 20 minutes worth of things you think about this axe, and you just don't click his inventory.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's
so my food for thought for you is I would like go over, like, type out what you typed to me, like, in one of your games to yourself, and ask yourself, what's like one actionable thing that I'm not doing in this game that capitalizes on this thinking? Like, I'm spending so much time thinking, and I'm not just doing like the one thing that would honestly, if you just keep checking his inventory, you could spend 10% as much thinking and you'd have a better sense of his blink timing. Do you see what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I'm vastly
Yeah.
overcomplicating it. I'm like,
That's what I'm trying to show you is that you have a lot of knowledge, but if you're doing this, it makes sense that you're overloading yourself. Like, it makes sense that you feel overloaded. And I think if you're that overloaded, that's probably why you end up zoning out. I can't say for sure, but I feel like your brain just gets fried for 30 seconds and then it's like reboot and then comes back on. Um,
yeah, that's that. I
uh,
think that's probably what happened. I'm like essentially trying to brute force an encryption when I actually have access to the private key by just
yeah, that's a
pressing
good analogy. Yeah.
checking his inventory.
Yeah. So for me, the goal moving forward in this session, because I just want to give you 3 or 4. What I'm trying to give you is anchors. So what I gave you right there is a question that's gonna make you do the thing. That's my goal. Like, what heroes on their team threaten me and what is their timing? Um, and then so I'm gonna send you another message, but I'm gonna edit this one. Actionable, check that guy's inventory as often as possible. That's the actionable. The next question I had for you is where should I be farming when they're dead and where should I be farming when they're alive? Um, they is like talking generally about the enemy team, but it's also predominantly talking about the guy that kills you. So I want you to see that I'm drawing quick attention to something. While Axe is dead, you're hitting a jungle camp. While Axe is respawning, you're hitting a creep wave at his tower.
Yeah. I think I was semi-conscious of this. Like, oh, I should have been top. And I don't know. I think I was thinking a little bit too much about my mantle timing. Around the time I was hitting that creep, communicating with the team, somewhat of like when I was planning to be more out on the map. Something like this. But yeah, I felt like I should have been pressuring top, and I ended up going there.
My point about all of this is when the guy that respawns kills you, you can't be within range of tower plus blink, period. Like,
Yeah,
that's just illegal. You can't do that. This guy doesn't kill you here, but this is illegal. This is the stuff that kills you 25% of the time. So you do it 4 times, you die. Like,
yeah.
so the simple actionable thing is what I just asked you is when the guy that kills me respawns, where do I need to be? Or where do I need to not be? Is perhaps a better question. So what I'm trying to say is that you have all of those things you're thinking about, and I need you. My goal for you, if you were to get something out of this session, would be in your games to just pay attention to the guy that fucking kills you and ignore all that fucking shit. Just think of all this. Think of this like, what does he do? What is his items? What is his timings? When is this guy respawning? Where could he be? Is his cooldown on his TP? Like, what is this guy? Because like it will drastically minimize your death. And this game's a really simple one. So I'm saying if you're not doing it in this game, when I say simple, I'm saying there's like one guy that really threatens you and the rest don't. So if you're not doing it properly here, then it's going to look even worse in like really complicated games. That's why I'm kind of like, after everything I've seen with you, that's why I'm harping on this a lot. So there's,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm just recalling. I believe, like I'm recalling, I was probably a bit more worried about the clinks than I should be. Like, I'm focusing a lot about the manta and stuff, and
Oh, Clinks is
I think
scary.
you're
A lot of physical damage.
absolutely correct.
He's scary. But you also
Yeah,
kill him if he's alone, like this.
yeah. I was,
Trying to kill
now
him.
that I have my manta, I'm not scared of him really at all. But yeah, I think I was probably like a little bit impacted by the disastrous Christmas break. Like there would be
I see.
clinks mids half the time that would get like super fed to like very random shit. Uh, and I think I'm not going to say like I was really good at like every single game. Like I would be in like more conscious of the axe blink and stuff. Um, but I think during that Christmas break, like my priorities may have been like slightly reordered, just
Gotcha. So,
recent bad memories.
yeah, I gotcha. So, um, when you tell me you do the 900 CS challenge, what I assume is your map movements will be generally efficient. What I'm also assuming, based on what I've seen so far, but off of that description, is that you will not adjust your farming patterns to enemies very much. So, the key for you is adjusting farm patterns to enemies rather than most optimal routes. So this requires 2 steps. 1, am I trying to avoid or enemy or look for a fight? This tells me that what enemies on map mean to me. So like if I'm trying to avoid, enemies on map mean I go the other way. If I'm trying to confront them, then enemies on map mean go there. And then 2, what direction matches my choice? Hey, thank you, honey. There's no cam on. So in this case, you last saw enemies mid. So I would hope if you asked yourself this question, am I trying to avoid enemies or look for a fight? You'd see enemies, you'd see this and be like, I'm avoiding. And then your next step would be, okay, that means I want to go away from them. Which direction is that? So now I ask you the question, where would you go?
Yeah, I know like this moment well in my head. I would want to go left. I would want to take the easy camp and the hard camp there, but
Yeah, those camps
I've
are dead, so it'd be these 2, right?
yeah, but see that's the thing. That one's not like ingrained in like my brain muscle memory because my brain is like calibrated to the old map. So
I got you.
I often forget about those river camps spot on top. That's definitely a takeaway I could, you know, very consciously adjust for. Just like remember that those camps are there. I end up going right here because those camps aren't available, and I'm trying to like take the shortest path back to triangle, and end up
Yeah, to be fair,
running
even
into
if the camps weren't
M18.
there, that's still a bad path to take.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're taking the shortest path, which I like. So in 30-minute sessions, I only have time to really explain a bit of the why. But I'm also trying to draw attention to, I know I literally said from the 900 CS challenge, you will prioritize the optimal path. I need that to be replaced with, am I trying to avoid or fight enemies? So which direction does that mean I need to go when I see them? So what that will force you to do if you're asking yourself that question all the fucking time. So right now, your brain on autopilot is asking yourself, what's the optimal path? What's the optimal path? What's the optimal path? I need you to ask yourself, am I trying to avoid the enemy or not? Where are they? Go that way. Like, that's what I need you to do, so then you will not have these deaths. We need you to replace that question. What is the optimal path?
With you saying that, I kind of like remember a motivation of me for, I guess, some of the playstyle I've developed. And I guess this would actually be probably one of the most primary goals I do want to achieve out of the session. Sorry for like
What
the
is
late
that exactly?
notice.
What is the primary goal?
Yeah. Essentially, especially in these like low MMR games, they can tend to be like either very passive or hyper aggressive. So I've been trying to achieve a pattern where I'm like achieving aggression by farming, like taking camps away from them, essentially.
I got you.
Trying to hit this like middle ground of super passivity versus like diving tier threes like an idiot kind of thing. Kind of be like a bit more in their face, enable my team, but yeah, I'm struggling to hit the balance there. Like obviously, like there's some very high risk, low reward plays that comes from like a miscalibration of this.
I see.
It's like I don't want to be underneath their tier twos, but I want to take their camps close to their tier twos if I feel like our team should be strong. And in this case, like I'm thinking that my team is just slightly behind me on net worth, but as I saw like towards the end of the game, like they were half my net worth. So like my team is not nearly as strong as I'm like thinking here. I don't know. Maybe I should have been checking my team's items a lot more.
Okay. I understand your core problem, at least I think I do. And because we've only got about 5 or 10 minutes left here, I'm trying to
Sure.
explain that from my question I posted above, you're generally trying to avoid Axe. Like right now, you see them mid and you back up. Like that's what you do, right? You're going to back up, you
Yeah.
see them. So what I'm proposing is that backing up just means away from them, right? That's all it means. So I would go this way.
Right.
Okay. So then I'm going to fast forward. You're in dodge mode, which is correct. Even though you're winning, you don't want to be the point of contact. So you're in dodge mode. So then you see them running at you here. So you're farming backwards. This, like, in theory, what you're doing here is great. You're like, I'm farming backwards. I'm in dodge mode. Run away from them. They're chasing me. So everything you're doing here says, yeah, they're chasing me, dodge mode. So I'm running away from them. Now, I want you to think about what happens this moment right here. I'm now running towards where I last saw them.
Yeah, I'm thinking Eagle Song, and
But
then
that's what I'm saying
brain
is
reboots.
you've got shit on your mind. I just need this to be on your mind. Whatever else
Yeah.
it is takes second priority to this. So what you can do is just look at the map and say, I'm avoiding them, go this way. I'm not avoiding them, go this way. I just want you making a conscious decision about where you're going. If that means you don't buy items properly, that's fine. Like, it sucks, but like, we want to put this at the forefront of your attention because this can be for thousands of games that you will keep getting better at this. Like, you will just keep getting better at farming patterns. So, like, what I would want here is that you go here, clear this wave because we just saw Axe top. You probably clear the next wave here. And then, like, now you're in their triangle over here because Axe was up here and you feel safe to go here because Axe was up here. So you're like going this way.
And I have wards there.
Yeah, and so suddenly you're really aggressive on the map. Like, you're in a spot to kill them, maybe. Like, if one of them walks through a ward. But instead, you're actually putting yourself kind of in danger up here. And your team's not, like, helping you do anything. It's like, yes, you kill this guy, but, like, it's, like, for me, it's these things where I'm in my head, I'm like, there's just, where's Axe? Like, why didn't he kill you there? Like, that's what I'm thinking this whole time. basically.
Yeah,
So
that is a good question, and
what I'm showing you is that this will cause inconsistency because sometimes these guys are going to punish you and sometimes they won't. Like, and I'm trying to show you how I see, like, because it's hard to convince somebody they'll get punished by something that they're not getting punished by in the exact example that I'm showing them. But like for me, I saw Axe there, so if I walk there and the guy can kill me, I'm going to assume he will. Like, and that's how I have to play in order to create consistency. Because if he plays correctly, I'm aware of it. If he doesn't play correctly, I'm around it anyway. So it doesn't matter how he's playing. Do you see what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. You're
yeah.
like eliminating that variance. That's what we're trying to do. So I
I don't know.
don't.
This could be a little bit of bias on my side, but I feel like maybe I was a bit better with assessing threats before. I'm not sure if,
Yeah, and
like, with
sometimes.
me recalibrating low and like a huge meta shift, like
Yeah,
I like relearned the game. Maybe like I threw away some of
that's
the things that I knew
that
from
is
before.
very likely. That is quite likely that in the past you were much better at this, and that's like accounting for perhaps like a lot of times when people drop MMR, it's not because they um like suck now. It's because they like unlearned good habits for some reason. Like a lot of
Yeah,
times. So that could very well be the case where you unlearned a good habit. Because for me watching you, a lot of the other stuff is really solid. So like for me, what's funny is,
this is stupid.
well, the thing for me is I see that all I care about as carry is not dying. And none of your items tell me that you survive better against Axe. Like for me, I would have I don't mind the blink, but I would probably go Scotty into, you know, I think butterfly for that's fine, but like I would go raw HP items because
Yeah,
that's better against Axe. Like butterfly kills me faster on Axe than I would die otherwise. So like for me, all the decisions I'd be making in this game is what kills me, where is that guy, what is his map movements, what items do I buy against that, and then usually you're like fourth or fifth. Like after Scotty, I'd probably go Abyssal. Actually, that's probably what I would go here.
right. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much just following a guide for Jug at this point, really, because I was trying to integrate all these concepts of like look around the map, farm patterns, etc. The only real adjustment I'm making for Axe is that I'm getting the blink before. I think I'm getting blink right after Manta, and that's so I can kind of sit back and Omni after Axe is in the fight.
So I'm giving you a quick
That
formula.
with Satanic, maybe I've been a good
I think
idea
that's a
here,
bit
or is
overkill,
that
just because you have healing ward.
okay?
So I do have to end the session here. But I'd like to give you a quick formula for items. Okay, so you can have a better concept of what you're exactly doing with your items because right now you're following a guide. Your first item accelerates your farm. This is almost every carry in the game. The second item gives you a hybrid of farming and survivability. So usually a lot of carries go like Manta or like Ursa gets Blink. But like heroes will get hybrid farm survivability item. After that, they get a survival item against the key threat on the enemy team. Usually it's like a BKB or a Scotty or a Lincoln's or something like that. And then their fourth item is something that makes them a threat to enemies. So, like in your case, Blink Abyssal.
Yeah,
Like, so that would be how I itemize this game. But like I would follow this formula for yourself. And I'm just telling you that if you build around, like the items are probably the last part. But I think if you draw a lot of attention to your threat assessment and the way that it affects your hero's movement on the map, who is it, crafting how you die, like if you think this stuff through, I think if I were to watch a game in the future, your map movements would would make a lot more sense to me. Because if there were no heroes in the game, your map movements make sense to me. But based on Axe only, who's your main threat, and you know that, they don't make sense. Like you're consistently running back into him. So that's what I don't, that's what I want to see for you is crafting how you die and how that affects your map movements, checking those people's items, and just really thinking how much threat am I under at this exact moment? Like, rather than making sure I buy these items and making sure. And if you need to like get back in the groove of hitting some creeps and stuff, that's fine. But the stuff that you're the overthinking is getting in the way of these core concepts of how do I die and what does that mean to me. And so
Yeah, I
that's
can
what
definitely see
that's
that.
what I think will. I think you'll have a lot of your problems fix themselves because it makes sense if you like. It makes sense from what you're telling me and what I'm seeing that if you're struggling and you've lost track of like something as crucial as your threat assessment, that will create a lot of chaos in your games. And a big part about this is
Absolutely.
you're not really setting yourself up to have high pressure on the map because of this. And I promise you, if you do the exact same moves but around the axe, you'll naturally find a lot more kills with your team. Like all the stuff that you killed was kind of like by yourself. You know what I mean? And occasionally like a Dawn ulti thrown in. But like you'll create opportunities with your team a lot more too. So that's how I would say it's affecting your team as well.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final questions, man?
Yeah, just like on the note of like me misevaluating how strong my team is. Let's say like pretty much all four of the other heroes like have a major or medium item each. Would any of these like map movements make more sense?
For me, that's kind of a
Or like should I just kind of ignore this kind of thinking for the very
for me,
foreseeable
that's like
future?
step 2 of this thing is step 1 is learning to avoid your threats on the map. Step 2 is learning to capitalize on the strengths of your teammates. So I don't think you're like it's hard for me to tell you what to do there until I see you placing yourself on the map around the threats better because then you'll capitalize better on your teammates. You'll set yourself up. Then we can talk about options from there.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I would look at it. So I think that will come that would be a logical next step.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, focusing, knowing that there is some stuff that I can actively work on to like, let's say, improve my own strength.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
at the end of the day, your teammates become more and more important the higher MMR you go.
yeah.
Right? But like right now, we need to
I
shift as much
guess
focus to you
it
as
kind of
possible.
just sort of like a goalpost question, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you say like maybe high, like if I'm back at high legend, then I start worrying like more about like my team's strength?
You start worrying
Like
about your
when should
team
I?
strength when you feel like I autopilot thinking about my threat on the map.
Okay, yeah,
Do you get what I mean?
yeah,
You have thought about the threat on the map so many games, your brain's like, dude, I could do this in my fucking sleep, bro.
yeah.
Okay? Like that's what you have to think, and then you can start thinking about your teammates. Does
Okay, yeah,
that sound good?
yeah. I think I tend to get like a bit caught up into like the randomness of like the pick of the team that you get at
Absolutely. That's an
low
easy
MMR.
trap to fall into. A lot of people do.
So
Definitely not just
I
you.
guess like my question is like when can I start trusting my team again? Although I don't know when
This has
that's if
absolutely
that sounds so.
zero to do with trusting your team or not. This has
Hmm,
everything to do with looking out for yourself and optimizing your own plays.
yeah,
Because at the lower MMRs, it's a lot of 5 individuals doing their own thing. So I just want you to optimize your own thing. Sometimes it's going to like synergize gloriously with your teammates, and sometimes it's not. But as long as you're doing your own thing optimally, you'll 100% win more than 50% of your games. Like you just will. So
yeah.
for me, it
Okay,
has nothing to do with like
thanks.
1v9 mentality. It's just I'm trying to get you to optimize your impact in the game, and the teammate stuff will come naturally later. Like it's just like, but I want you to get yourself more risk averse. I want you to get yourself more flowing on the map according to what they're doing on enemy heroes, and then you will see openings you've never seen before. But I can't explain those to you, like because they're kind of hypothetical at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
Awesome,
Um,
man.
yeah, I guess I just like needed some reassurance that it's naturally going to come back to me.
I
That
got
it's
you.
not like something I forget to think about.
No, this is not
when I
something that
need to be.
yeah, no, this is the thing for us now is that like yeah, I understand the need for some reassurance. I believe that you have the knowledge necessary from your explanations to do what I'm asking you to do, and that's why I'm telling you to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've seen you talk about 20 things you're thinking about and not do the one actionable thing from it. So my goal was give you 3 or 4 questions that I think are highly actionable. You can reword the questions, you can come up with different questions, but the goal of those questions was that there's one action you're supposed to take from that. I identify my threat and I check his inventory and I check where he is on
Yep.
the map, right? Like that's just one like that's what there's only one takeaway from that. So in the game, you're going to have a bunch of shit going through your mind. You're going to be thinking about like this, that, and this, but the one thing you won't lose track of is that. That's the
Yeah.
goal. You can be, ADHD focused, overthinking, honed in on this fucking one thing, you know?
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you've got the
Absolutely.
knowledge to do it 100%, just to be clear. Like, that's 100% obvious. So,
Yeah.
cool, man.
Clinks and Pudge in this game, they're like semi-concerns, where like Axe is like the big concern that
There's
I have.
layers to this, but like Axe is a much bigger concern to you, yes. Like it's not as simple as one guy, but it's like thinking like at the next level you start thinking about the next ways they kill you and stuff. Like there's more layers than just this, but you can keep expanding upon that over time. That's why I said like this can be like thousands of games worth of
Yeah.
like
My
analysis and
natural instinct is to try and like brute force the full spectrum
yeah.
of ways they can kill me and
Yes.
navigate that,
Yes.
which is too much.
Yeah, if you're trying to do too much, it ends up being doing nothing at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you so much for the
Yeah,
session.
no problem, dude. I totally get the struggle of wanting to do it all. But I think if we give it to you much more bite sized, it'll feel less overwhelming, and you'll see more impact, even if it doesn't feel like you're doing much. So I think that might be a good sign for you if it feels like you're not working on very much. If you're like, I'm only working on this one thing, and you probably will have this tendency to want to work on more, and fight that. Fight that as best you can. um, I promise you, it'll hurt you in the long run if you try to do too much. So,
All right. Thanks a lot.
yeah,
That's I'll make a note of it
yeah,
and review it. Try
no
and
problem, man.
find ways to implement it bite-sized rather than all four or all actionable things in
Sounds
the
good,
same
man.
game.
I believe in you. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.